What if I told you that your pancreas might be on the brink of collapse and you don't even know it? This vital organ, responsible for regulating blood sugar and supporting digestion, is often ignored until it's too late. Small daily habits, like what you eat or drink, may be causing silent damage, accumulating serious issues that manifest as diabetes and other irreversible conditions. In this video, we'll uncover the secrets few share about how you can protect and even heal your pancreas before the worst happens. Imagine your pancreas as an engine, a vital piece that operates tirelessly, day and night, to keep your body balanced. With each meal, especially those high in sugar and refined carbs, it's forced to work hard, releasing insulin to balance blood sugar. But what happens when, day after day, this engine is overloaded without rest? Like any machine, it begins to fail. It's an endless cycle. You consume sugar, the pancreas responds. It releases insulin, but if the excess sugar persists, the pancreas begins to wear down. This wear and tear lead to insulin resistance, and so begins the downward spiral. Every sugary meal, every dessert quickly consumed forces the pancreas to fight harder and harder, unsuccessfully attempting to control blood glucose. This silent cycle continues repeating until one day the signs appear: fatigue, dizziness, weight gain, and then diabetes. What makes this situation even scarier is that most people don't even realize it's happening. They continue in this cycle, forcing the pancreas to battle sugar, unaware of the toll their body is paying. But there is a way out, a way to break this overload cycle and restore the health of this essential organ. Now, imagine a life where you no longer have to worry about constant pancreas wear. Imagine breaking this infinite overload cycle and finally allowing your pancreas to function as it should. Balanced, without the need to rush to regulate blood sugar with every meal. This is the power of a transformation many consider impossible, but that is within your reach. With each small change, you step out of this destructive loop. More mindful eating, healthier choices, all contribute to reducing stress on the pancreas. It's possible to interrupt this cyclical process of damage and recovery, giving your body a chance to heal and function naturally. If you could give your pancreas a well-deserved rest and strengthen its function with something as simple as food, wouldn't you do it? The good news is that some foods have powerful properties to break the overload cycle and help the pancreas recover. Every food choice you make can be a step out of this loop of constant damage, and here are the foods that can start this transformation. First, we have cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and kale, known for their fiber and antioxidants. They help regulate blood sugar, promoting a slow and steady glucose release. Imagine that each serving of these vegetables is like a brake for your pancreas, which doesn't need to release large amounts of insulin to handle sugar spikes. Another powerful food is lean protein, found in options like fish, chicken, and legumes. When you opt for lean proteins, you avoid fat accumulation in the pancreas and allow it to focus on balancing blood sugar. It's like giving it a pause so it can work with less effort, without fighting sugar and fat overloads. And let's not forget healthy fats. Avocado, nuts, and olive oil are your allies. They help reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity, meaning the pancreas doesn't have to work as hard to maintain blood sugar balance. Think of it as a natural boost that takes on the heavy lifting, reducing the pancreas's load. Additionally, berries like blueberries and raspberries are rich in antioxidants and help combat oxidative stress, a crucial factor for pancreatic health. Every bite of these fruits is like a renewal for the organ, freeing it, even if temporarily, from this constant cycle of stress. By choosing these foods, you break the wear and tear loop and give the pancreas a real chance to recover. Now imagine a daily cycle that seems harmless but is slowly damaging your pancreas. Every piece of white bread, every sip of soda, every sugary dessert activates a silent process that puts the pancreas in an exhausting loop of constant action. Each time you consume these foods, blood sugar levels spike, and the pancreas is forced to release large amounts of insulin to normalize the system. And here's the problem. These spikes and crashes are like an endless loop, wearing down the pancreas and paving the way for insulin resistance. Think of it this way. Your pancreas is forced to run a marathon multiple times a day, every day. It struggles to handle the excess sugar, but with each cycle, its function wears down a bit more. It's a silent strain, one that often goes unnoticed, until the warning signs appear, like weight gain, extreme fatigue, and eventually, type 2 diabetes. This cycle is dangerous because over time, the body begins to resist insulin. Imagine your cells as doors that, after being opened and closed repeatedly, start to jam. That's what happens with insulin resistance. Your cells stop responding properly, and the pancreas has to produce even more insulin, overloading itself further. This vicious cycle becomes harder and harder to break. Each serving of refined sugar adds fuel to this fire. It's like placing more weight on the back of someone who's already exhausted, expecting them to keep up the same pace. The problem is that at some point, the pancreas can no longer keep up with this demand, and diabetes sets in. But there is a way out of this loop, and it starts with the conscious choice to reduce sugars and simple carbs. By making these changes, you interrupt this cycle before it causes irreversible damage. You allow your pancreas to regain strength, reducing the need for excessive insulin production and giving your body a chance to return to balance. Now, consider the fundamental role of hydration as an essential piece for breaking the pancreas overload cycle. With each sip of water, you help the body better regulate glucose levels, giving the pancreas a much-needed break. When the body is properly hydrated, it can keep blood sugar more stable, avoiding spikes that demand intense responses from the pancreas. But that's not all. Excess weight is another factor that puts the pancreas in an endless cycle of strain. Fat accumulation, especially around the abdominal area, makes insulin action harder, forcing the pancreas to work harder and harder to compensate. This loop of constant effort weakens the organ over time, making it increasingly vulnerable. Imagine each extra pound as an additional load for the pancreas to carry. On the other hand, each small amount of weight loss reduces this load, allowing the pancreas to recover gradually, slowly breaking free from this cycle of wear. Staying hydrated and at a healthy weight is like offering the pancreas a truce. These are changes that break this loop of stress and allow the body to operate with more ease and efficiency. Imagine that each negative habit is an extra load for your pancreas, adding to a never-ending cycle. Some of the biggest culprits for the health of this organ are hidden sugars and processed foods, which seem harmless but trigger the same cycle of glucose spikes. Every bite of processed food with hidden sugars forces the pancreas to release insulin, repeating a cycle of wear that gradually weakens its capacity. Another harmful factor is the excessive consumption of caffeine and alcohol. While they may seem harmless, these habits require the body to work even harder to balance itself, putting the pancreas in a constant state of alert. It's like the pancreas is in a continuous emergency state, struggling to maintain control. The good news is that you can replace these culprits with less aggressive alternatives. For example, using stevia instead of sugar offers relief for the pancreas, as it doesn't trigger the same insulin spikes. Swapping coffee for herbal tea is another way to give your body a chance to rest. Every adjustment you make takes a weight off the pancreas, interrupting the overload loop. Imagine the difference these small adjustments can make: a healthier, less stressed, and optimally functioning pancreas. Now imagine the power of incorporating small habits that day by day build your pancreas resilience. Regular physical exercise, like a walk or stretching session, is more than movement. It breaks the cycle of insulin resistance, helping your body use glucose more effectively. Every step taken, every movement, is like a message to the pancreas. You're not alone in this. The impact of stress on the pancreas is something many people underestimate. When we're in a constant state of stress, our body releases hormones like cortisol, which directly affect blood sugar regulation and burden the pancreas. Practices like yoga, meditation, and even a few minutes of deep breathing throughout the day help break this cycle. Imagine the pancreas receiving mental breaks, making it stronger and more prepared to face daily challenges. With each change you incorporate, be it regular exercise, a moment of relaxation, or a balanced diet, you interrupt the overload loop and create a healthier environment for your pancreas. These are simple adjustments, but together they have a profound impact. And don't underestimate the power of regular checkups. Monitoring your pancreas's health with glucose tests and lipid profiles provides a clear view of how it's responding to your habits. Prevention is a form of control, allowing you to stop the wear cycle before it even begins. To understand the impact of these changes, let me tell you a real story. Imagine a woman who, like many of us, spent years in an endless cycle of poor eating habits, stress, and inactivity. She faced constant fatigue, weight gain, and finally, a diagnosis of insulin resistance. Her pancreas was in a critical state of overload, but instead of accepting this as inevitable, she decided to make small changes. She began replacing sugars with healthy alternatives, incorporated daily walks, and reduced her intake of processed foods. With each adjustment, she felt a bit more energy, a bit lighter. Over time, her tests began to show improvements, and she broke free from that wear loop threatening her health. Now that you know the impact small changes can have on your pancreas health, the decision is in your hands. Every step you take to care for this vital organ is an opportunity to escape the wear cycle and move toward a more balanced, healthier life. Don't wait for the warning signs. Start now. If this content brought value to you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who can benefit from this information. Together, we can build a more conscious and healthy community.